love Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego because every time their name is mentioned, it's mentioned in the group. If we're gonna have even in faith, we gotta sit. But secondly, after you sit, you have to stand. And I love that story of Shadrach, Meshach. The music goes off. Can you imagine like what that would have been like that day? Like everybody bows down, but you just look up and there's Shadrach, not bowing down. There's Meshach like, I wish you would, devil. There's Abednego, Abednego's like, can we curtsy at least? Maybe we should curtsy, like. You want to talk about going public with your faith? You want to talk about being a city on a hill? You want to talk about by not letting your light be hidden? These guys are a picture of it. But yet you say, how do you take such a public stand? You'll never go public if you don't first go private. Before you can go public, you've got to go private. Because you're just reading the end of the story. Even if, what a climactic moment, in this real moment of pressure, their most triumphant words come out, but how? It's because this wasn't the first time they ever took a stand for God. They had been taking stand after stand after stand. In fact, the Bible says they were taken out of their homeland. They are slaves. I want someone to catch this because you keep coming up with all the reasons as to why you can't flourish. You keep coming up with all the reasons as to why you can't be great. These were slaves living in a secular world. And they show up on the scene and they're brought into the king's chambers because they possess some amazing qualities. And right off the bat, they are put on the king's diet. But these men, as Jewish boys, they were under the law. So they could not drink wine. They could not eat certain types of meat. So they came to one of the king's officials and they said, hey, let's make a deal. Why don't you give us 10 days eating the way our God tells us to eat, praying the way our God tells us to pray. We're gonna only eat vegetables and we're only gonna drink water. Let's see what we look like after those 10 days. They were taking a stand. Nobody was recording it, but they were taking a stand. The Bible says after 10 days, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that they had so far exceeded all of the other men that were in the king's chambers that they were automatically brought into the king's court. And from that day forward, this is what the Bible says, that they were 10 times better than all of the king's magicians, astrologers, and advisors. Doesn't surprise me one bit. You're a Christian. You're a follower of Jesus. I think you ought to be the best employee at your job. Whew. I don't care where you work at, you're gonna be the best. Why? Because not only are you talented, you're also kind. Not only are you skilled, you're humble. You got it all. There is no doubt in my mind that as believers of Jesus, we should always rise to the top, but we have to be willing to take a private stand before we'll ever take a public stand. Come on, if we're gonna clap, let's just all clap together. Come on, you get this one time a year, we might as well have some fun. Here's what I've learned. I've learned that when you take a stand, man, people will follow you. People will follow you. But you've got to be bold and you've got to be willing to take a stand. The Bible says that they stand before King Nebuchadnezzar and they say, even if we will not bow down. King Nebuchadnezzar gets so mad. The Bible says that he has the furnace turned up 7 times hotter. Whoa. 7 times hotter. I wish I could tell you that after this conference, your life's gonna get easier. But the truth of the matter is, if you take this conference serious, I'm not saying your life's gonna get easier, but your life's about to get better. Because I believe if you take this stand tonight, I believe if you live a life bold, guess what? I believe the enemy is gonna turn that fiery furnace up 7 times hotter. You ever notice that? Some of you tonight, you're gonna walk down to this altar and you're gonna say, you know what, man, God, I wanna walk in purity. And the moment you walk out of these doors, after you made that commitment, some girl's gonna call you like, hey, where you at? Someone's like, I'm done with drugs and alcohol. I'm done obeying that stuff. The moment you walk out of these doors, some dude's gonna call you up going, hey bro, we got a real party going on tonight. You oughta come over. That's what happened to Jonah, right? God spoke to him, go to Nineveh. What all of a sudden takes place? There's another boat going 2,500 miles in the opposite direction. Why? Because whenever God speaks to you, there will always be a boat going in the other direction. As the worship team comes up here, tonight we've got to make a decision. We've got to draw a line in the sand to declare that even if our God doesn't show up the way we want him to show up, we're not gonna bow down, but we're gonna stand and we're gonna take a public stand for God. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.